A real visit to Pitti Uomo. What is it actually like going here? Despite seeing Juicy Couture, who would have thought, at a menswear trade show, it's actually about selling stuff, selling the next season and promoting your brand, like this Italian denim company that's called Rain, that also produces father brands, by the way, as well as finding new sneaker brands, at least new to me. They've probably been around long enough that they do not need my approval, but just FYI. Of course, there are a lot of people who take photographs, but this is what it actually looked like. You're walking a ton of halls and alleys and aisles in order to find a brand that suits your next season's. Made it taste the best. There are, of course, also a few cool installations here and there. And at most of the booths, they're gonna scan your QR code, which is your ticket, so they know who you are and can add you to their CRM, which is a big part of the reason why a lot of creators don't showcase this side of Pitti. But here, a closer look at Brunello Cucinelli Spring-Summer 2025 collection. The man himself was in attendance and a sort of copycat of the beloved suede sneakers that everyone's wearing. And to be perfectly honest, I don't know why Cucinelli did that. They don't have to, but apparently they think they need to compete. This is Aurelian, by the way. I'm going to share more about this later. This is what the booths between all those stands look like. And there are different sections. Classic menswear, also performance wear, in case anyone's wondering what's the whole deal about plastic in menswear. Parmas, I talked about, the jeans brand that was founded in Italy, that's fairly young. Luigi Bianco and their junior brand LBM. This was a really sick fabric in a Solaro herringbone. This company may be familiar to some of you. So now about the part why not a lot of creators show this side of the show. Because the brands are here to sell and not to line up a collaboration, gifting, or some other form of cooperation with someone to get free PR and advertising. So while they will always answer your questions, their audience are buyers. Brands you all know, but didn't expect to be at Pitti Uomo. First we have Dragon Diffusion, but more on them at the end of the video. Then Guess Jeans has a massive booth right at the entrance. Carl Gross has its own spot. WP, Filson and Barber are to be expected, but the whole organization? Bickenbergs, a New Zealand brand that was actually new to me. Rod and Gun. Superga, the sneaker that just will not go away. Juicy Couture, by the way, good sneakers from Superga, that's not what I meant. Jackerson, if you know, leave a comment. China Wave, Sun 68. China Wave was sort of a collective of Chinese brand exhibited. Then we have Rag and Bone. Roy Rogers teamed up with Dave's New York Ice Cream. Distressed had probably the best music outdoors. And here we're back at Dragon Diffusion with their two newest models, which are to be released. So if you like them, let me know. There will be plenty of photo dumps on Instagram over the coming days, and I'll write a bit more about all of those brands that I talked to in the weekly newsletter. Follow, like, subscribe, whatever makes you happy. And until next time, stay cozy. Brunello Cucinelli Spring-Summer 2025 was of course also on display at Pitti Uomo last week with a lot of familiar designs, but then we look at the shoes and we see yet another white sole loafer in suede. Was that really necessary? The collection overall was standard Cucinelli with a little bit of homage to Solomeo, lots of natural colors, the aforementioned pale pink that's going to be very much on trend next year. Then we had Danish brand Aurelian. And there are always a myriad of smaller companies that exhibit between the individual halls and alleys and booths. Tucked away in a little corner was Lorasta with steaming and ironing solutions, who would have thought? And more brands that are probably not the most well-known ones like Reveres or Monoway. Privati from Firenze was also in attendance, as well as Barmas, who I talked about a couple of weeks ago. Then we had Luigi Bianchi Mantova, which was supposed to relaunch just as Luigi Bianchi, but here we are with LBM still being a collection. And with the coolest piece of the entire show, a safari jacket in a rust Solaro cloth. Three trends that define fashion and the conversations at Pitti Uomo. Sustainability is no longer a differentiator. I've said this for years, that if you start building a brand on sustainability alone, you will be eclipsed by everyone else who catches up eventually. And we're reaching a point, at least in the premium luxury segment, where it's a given and no longer enough to sway buyers. Second, e-commerce and distribution. Small and medium brands struggle with this and have been for a long time. I do not understand why Pitti hasn't partnered with the likes of Shopify, WeCommerce and others. And this goes both ways. The only corporate sponsor that I noticed was UniCredit. But there still is so much room for growth for e-commerce platforms as well as for small and medium brands to tap into these services. And third, sustainable materials. The quality isn't there. At least not in the segment that is served by Pitti Uomo. Brands want more sustainable options, absolutely. Have they found materials that are standing the test of time when they lab test them? No. So while there are recycled solutions for the likes of Reformation and other high street brands, or prestige projects, like the Loewe bag that was made from excess leather, or Loro Piana's capsule from recrafted cashmere. The only solution that has found mainstream acceptance in this premium and luxury segment is recycled polyester. You can read more about this in the weekly newsletter, to which the link is in the bio. And until next time, stay cozy.